It's kind of weird. This is the camera, and I keep looking at myself, but that's the camera. But I keep looking at myself, but that's the camera. Look at the camera. There's a laptop ban if you're flying to America from a certain group of countries. That's like, let's see, the website says Middle East and Africa, also Egypt, Jordan, Kuwait, Morocco, Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Turkey, and the United Arab Emirates. That's like 10 airports in 8 countries. So if you're flying to America from those airports, then you have to check your laptop or your tablet. So iPads out, laptops out, Chromebooks out. All that you can use is your phone, which I'm filming this on is my iPhone 7 Plus. But now you're really restricted. So for business travelers like me who travel a lot through Dubai and from Dubai to go to other parts of the world, that becomes a big, because I get a lot of work done on flights. So normally on my way there, it's a 16-hour flight to Dubai. I'll be able to use my tablet. I'll be able to use my iPad Pro. But then on the way back, coming out of Dubai into San Francisco, I won't. I'll only have my iPhone 7 Plus. It's kind of gray what phones are allowed to go in there. So the TSA says the size and shape of smartphones vary by brand. Smartphones are commonly available around the world, and their size is well understood by passengers who fly internationally. Please check with your airline if you are not sure whether your smartphone is impacted. But they're very vague. Leave it up to the airlines, but it's a TSA rules. But if you're no laptop kind of person, then you usually bring your iPad Pro or your iPad, and that helps you get work done while you're in the air. But the problem is now you won't be able to. You need to start just using your phone. Now Emirates, the airline I fly a lot, they're offering a service. So when you're in Dubai getting ready to board to go to San Francisco or Los Angeles or Orlando or wherever, then they'll offer like a box you check right before you get on the plane, and it goes into the cargo hold of the plane. My peeves about this whole rule: yes, there is intelligence about a possible terrorist threat. There is the ability to make something very explosive out of these size of devices. The problem is the industry hasn't caught up with this kind of rule. So there's no insurance for damaged or stolen electronics in your checked baggage. Every time I fly from India through Dubai to come here, I usually have a couple pieces of electronics, and I've always been asked, can you take those out and carry those on? They don't want them in there because of theft, because of damage. And now it's a rule. So now I have to buy something. If I want to carry anything, I have to buy something to protect my merchandise inside my bag. And that's a cost I didn't want to have. Also, like the fact that iPads are banned. Right? iPhone 7 Plus seems not to be banned, but I mean, hopefully allowed, but we're not sure yet. It's kind of a gray area. Emirates hasn't addressed the actual models of phones or sizes of phones. TSA said anything below, I think 6.5 inches or something like that. But I mean, that's, it's still not really called out in the FAQs. One of my friends just flew back through Doha, and he had to check his Beats headphones that are wireless and they have a battery. I'm not really sure that I didn't see anything in the TSA announcement about that, so I'm not really sure why he had to do that, but they absolutely made him check it. So he was very disappointed because those noise canceling headphones are a lifesaver on a long flight. Now you have to make sure everything is perfectly packed. If you have to buy special cases now to put your laptop in your checked luggage, and that's a problem because now you have to use more room in your checked luggage than what you had before just for your flight to America. We'll see as this unfolds. Hopefully it won't last too long because this is just a pain in the ass. I get a lot of work done on my iPad on the way back. So now I'm going to have to use my iPhone 7 my iPhone 7 Plus to get this done. So how can we get around this and get work accomplished? Because a 16-hour flight internationally, or even a 10, 12-hour flight internationally, it's an opportunity to get work done. And when you're in the air, especially business travelers like myself, that is the time where you can just laser focus on stuff and get it done. We'll use the iPhone 7 Plus as a guideline because that's what I use every day. But we can talk, maybe a Galaxy Note 8 when they come out, larger form factor phablet phones like the LG G5 and things like that. But you have programs. So luckily in the last couple years, there have been programs and apps that let you do some work on these devices. And that's what I blog about, and that's what I talk about a lot in Twitter and the like. So Microsoft Office is now available for iOS and Android. So now you can use the full Word, full Excel, full PowerPoint, full Outlook. Even Outlook is a little bit better on mobile than it is on the desktop right now, but that's going to change soon thanks to my friend Javier, who's now heading up that area. Now you can actually get work done. There's cloud services to store your documents. Emirates is offering free Wi-Fi on these flights because of this ban or whatever. So now you get to be able to access, your Google Docs. So Google Drive and all the Google Docs apps are really awesome on iOS and Android. Actually, probably better on Android since Google's the Android company, right? And now you have a bunch of ways to get work done. We, at my job, use Slack to communicate back and forth. And of course, I text message everybody using the Messages app on iOS. So now you can communicate still in the air. And believe it or not, on a larger form factor phone, I'm not talking about the 6 or the SE or smaller phone devices, but you can actually get work done. And that's the best part about it. You can edit a Word document. You can look at a spreadsheet. Now, editing a spreadsheet, adding to a spreadsheet, authoring a spreadsheet, it's a little weird. But PowerPoints, Google Slides, I've done it many times. I've edited Google Docs and PowerPoints before, easy. The only problem is importing images into that presentation. That gets a little weird because you have to import it to your camera roll and then import it into there. It's a little workaround. As far as mail goes, it all works great. Cloud drives. With airline Wi-Fi, as you guys may or may not know, is a little slow. So sometimes syncing those documents is a little hard. So if you can, save them offline that you're going to be working on them. Also, look at your browsers. Make sure your browsers are, up to date, and make sure your apps are up to date. If you want to listen to music while you're doing it, make sure you download that music locally. I got a 256 gigabyte phone, and luckily I can grab a lot of music that I like to listen to and pull it down into my device. So I highly suggest you do that. Now the good thing about it is a lot of these international airlines like Emirates, which is by far my favorite airline ever, has a great entertainment selection. So you can listen to music, watch movies while you work. Luckily, you're only using your phone now, so you can hold it up and work while you watch Harry Potter. You have other things. So make sure you bring your USB charging cable for your device because a lot of these international flights have USB ports so you can charge your device while you're flying, so you don't have to worry about running out of battery. And you don't have to worry about a lot of other things that go along with that. You don't have to carry an extra battery pack like this with you. Just bring your cable. And I'm actually considering this on my next trip. Since this ban is happening, it's a big pain in the ass. I'm thinking about not bringing any of the banned devices. Going there would be great. I can get there with all my devices on board, my laptop if I bring it, my iPad, all my devices. Now on the way back, I'd have to check them. And I just don't trust baggage handlers. They're rough. There's been cases where things have been stolen, damaged, whatnot. So I'm considering not bringing anything on my next trip except my phone. And then when I get to the other office, borrowing a device while I'm there and making sure I can get work done while I'm there, and then checking it back into my work IT department in Bangalore, and then fly back with just my phone. I could just keep everything in my pockets and go from there. So I'm considering doing that on my next trip just to lighten the load. And now, as far as international travel with these devices, things you can do is, bring a pen and paper If you do a lot of brainstorming on flights and you do it with your iPad, typing in notes and things like that, go low tech, pen and paper. It works. It's TSA approved. Also, this is the time to do your planning. Do some rough cuts of ideas. Do some things that you normally wouldn't have to have a computer for, and do that. So I normally do things when when my battery runs out and there's no USB port. I usually do goal setting. I usually do project planning, to-do lists, things like that. Of course, that's not going to take 8 to 12 to 16 hours on this flight. So make sure you know exactly what you're wanting to do there. Plan ahead, buy a book, because nothing has been said about Kindles. Kindles don't really fit either form factor, but it counts as a tablet. So I don't think Kindles will be allowed. I don't know. TSA has been very vague, and I'll post a link thingy up here if I can, or over here, or even down here in the comments section or the information section. So, but it's very vague on what TSA gives you in the FAQs. And as far as each airline, please check with every airline to make sure your device is approved for that airline, because the airlines can have a little bit more leeway. I'm not talking about the need for this rule. I'm just talking about how much of a pain in the ass this rule is. So please travel safely and diligently, and make sure you do your work. And remember, you don't need a laptop to get real work done, but you do need something to get real work done. So remember that. All right, thanks.